Okay. Okay, we are, I think, live. I still have to wait for a second. And yes, we are. And Marla and I are so blessed and so honored that we get to share our dear brother and sister, Wayne and Deb, and your journey of us meeting over 3 years ago, one miraculous day, and your journey. And Deb and Wayne meet the world, world meet Deb and Wayne.
Hi, world.
and as we just mentioned, it's normally Marla and I talking for 9 hours and you listening, but this is going to be your story and your journey of how we met. And I'm going to just preface to everyone what took place, because this, which again, so grateful to share, was one of the very first stories that really took place. But it wasn't just a story that we're sharing every day. It was one of the first miraculous stories we've ever witnessed, which really, it was that lightning bolt. So, and I'll keep it short, which, you know, it's not easy for me. So 11 days, of course, 11 days before Christmas over 3 years ago, I got a call from Wayne and his team saying, we heard what you did with the Tree of Life and the Pope's collection and helping all the refugee children. And we'd like to come in and meet and talk to you about something new technology-wise. And Marla and I are like, okay, come on in, because you know we say yes to the universe. We had no idea who you were. And we just like, okay, come on in. And you came in with your team, and Marla and I shared at the time the collection we did for the Pope at the Vatican and the refugee children around the world, and the vision of the Tree of Life and our vision. And we started talking about, which was still in production and still in prototype, the Tree of Life, the intention stick, and what the vision was for Marla and I. And we probably were there for 2 hours at least. And I right, Wayne, I think we were there a long time. And the meeting went incredible, and we all hugged. You guys left. Now, I have to explain first to the world, Wayne, Deb, as you know, Wayne is very scientific, mathematical, logic-driven minded man. You know, again, no judgment, no nothing, but some people may be more religious or spiritual, but Wayne, that's Wayne's DNA. Brilliant genius of a mind. I'm just sharing that. So we all left, or you guys left. The next day, I get a phone call from Wayne saying to Marla and I, we were on speakerphone, you moved me, and that's not easily done. And you said, my wife has been battling MS for 13 years. She's very fond of jewelry. I'm at my wit's ends of what to get her for Christmas. Could you please make me a rose gold intention stick for her for Christmas? Now, Wayne, you didn't see, but Marla and I look at each other like, okay, it's now 10 days before Christmas. This is in prototype. The very first ones were made for Marla and myself. We had no idea of what it would cost. There were no words at the time to place inside. and we said, one, how do we say no? Two, again, 2 days or 10 days before Christmas. And three, we said, but of course we'll get it done, right?
Like, we couldn't say no to you.
We couldn't say no to something you just shared that was so beautiful to Marla and I. So of course, I threw our team under the bus, literally got it done, carved and printed and cast. And I called you Christmas Eve day. And I said, Wayne, come on in, it's ready. Now, Marla and I had no idea you were going to bring Deb. So here, Marla and I and you, and now Deb are in the room, and we're sharing now the journey, our story, and we're all crying. Because one, I knew what you were going through, and here we're surprising you with the most precious gift ever. And I pull out, not in the normal packaging, but in a beautiful jewelry box, which was number 3 of the very first 3 rose gold ones ever made. And I hand it to Wayne, and he opens it up, and the tears are pouring down his eye, or down his face. And he comes around Deb and he puts it around your neck, and we're all crying. And within 5 seconds, Deb, you said, "Oh my goodness, I feel the warmth around my neck." Now, we're all bawling because maybe most people may not understand with MS, the disease, all of your nerve endings are basically shot. You have basically no feeling or sensation. And for you to say that, and we watched all the color come back to your face and your chest and your body, and it was a miracle. And that was the very first story that ever took place, that we were able to witness what this gift was, this pure vessel. And this was without words yet. This was just the pure vessel that you received. So I hope I did justice in recapping what took place, but I want now you or Wayne, Deb or Wayne, to really, in your eyes, in your heart, share what you saw or took place. So thank you for allowing me to get that out.
Okay.
I know it's
I didn't know what was happening. Wayne just told me, he goes, I have to do a work thing, if you could go with me. And I said, okay.
You're going to go to lunch or something.
We're going to go to lunch. You know, I love to eat. So I said, okay, I'll go to lunch. And then when we stopped by your place, and he totally surprised me with this, and you told me what this was all about. And I said, and I looked at it when he gave it to me. I go, oh my God, this is beautiful. But when he put it on me, and you were describing what a gift it is, I felt the warmth. The whole thing got warm, and it took my breath away.
Wow.
And that's when I got so choked up, and I started crying. And I couldn't imagine this piece of jewelry. I'm not used to a piece of jewelry having this effect on me. And that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. And I love it. I depend on it through hard times. And the last couple of years, my father had a blood disease, was in the hospital 8 days. We didn't know if we was going to make it or not. And when they put this on, I don't even remember what messages I put in it. It didn't matter. I would hold it and just say a prayer. And it worked. He came out of it. He's 89 years old.
Wow.
And so it works. Anyway. So I want to thank you so much. And as soon as we can, we'd love to get together with you.
I know.
You know, when we had the privilege to first meet Wayne, Deb, I shared with Wayne separately how our trip to Windsor Castle was really life-changing for us. that, you know, for years I felt a void within inside of me because I also come from a home of scientists. My father was a physicist and devised nuclear submarines and radar missiles, things like that. So it wasn't really something that was given to me. And so when I had mentioned that to Wayne, you know, how the trip to Windsor was life-changing and miraculous, and that we took this intention stick and it was shared with us that this is a movement. This is about the world coming together, right? It's the tree of life and the energy that's coming from the intention stick. But when I shared that with Wayne, he said, well, you know, there's a book you should read. And there's
talk about validation.
And there's an explanation for why you might think it was life-changing. And you should really read this book and you'll have a better understanding. And the next time he came in, which was right away, he remembered and he brought me the book, and I read the book immediately. And I'll tell you that really changed the course for us and propelled us onto this journey of us understanding of truly what we have received of this gift, of this intention stick, that it's much bigger than we could have ever possibly imagined. And that this is science, that it's not all woohoo stuff, that what we put out from our hearts comes back in. I mean, really, it's the third law of physics, if we think about it, right? The law of motion, and that we're all feeling each other's energies. And I don't think I would have quite understood it without Wayne's guidance and gifting me that book, that this intention stick has really been our teacher, because everyone's story is unique to their own. That this vessel is a representation of our own vessel, that we all come into this world, into existence with broken vessels, and it's up to us to repair it while we're here, to understand our challenges, our obstacles, our pains, our illnesses, of why we're receiving them. And then this is that mirror image to help us bring that light into those broken areas, to help heal while we're here and to understand. And so I am grateful for both of you for this beautiful story, like I said, that propelled us on this journey of truly understanding the gift that we received for the world. This isn't about us, it's about all of us collectively of sharing this message.
And wow, Marla, that was so beautiful. And Deb, I didn't know that about your father. And that, again, as we all know, one of Einstein's beautiful quotes, that we can look at the world in two ways, that nothing's a miracle or that everything is a miracle. And when we believe that and we feel it with our heart and soul, we watch it manifest and take place and have the ability that those prayers, whether, again, someone says God, the universe, the source of light, whatever that is to that person, when it's from our heart and soul and for the right reasons, which is helping another or helping us get through a difficult situation, those blessings and prayers are answered. And we witness that miracle, but those miracles are every second. And we can't pick and choose our miracles. We just always have to believe. And again, Wayne, as we know, we have to say, shut the heck up to this and listen to this, because it's never
at the same time. A lot of stuff happens.
Yes.
Well, I didn't know that was going on with you at that time, that intensely. That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's great.
No coincidences that you came into our life right at that time. And it's interesting because I don't know if Scott, because sometimes I'm not at our office, I work out of the house, and I miss seeing you if you come by or have a meeting. And I don't know if Scott had shared this with you, but I would love to share this with you, that about a year ago, this will prove, by the way, how we're all being guided to one another, or that we open ourselves up to receiving messages, and we
Yes.
follow it, right? We act on it. So
Yeah.
about a year ago, I was in meditation, and I kept hearing over and over, tree of life intention stick, tree of life intention stick. So I was questioning that, and I said, am I receiving that this is a word? Tree of life intention stick, the acronym TOLIS. I said, okay, is this a word? How can this be? How could tree of life intention
Right.
stick be a
It wasn't
word?
something we just, oh, that's a cool word.
No, because this
Yeah.
came much later. So I went and I researched, and sure enough, Tolis is a word. I'm going to tell you what Tolis means. Okay, so it's not even that it's a word that's a miracle. It's what the definition is. The name derives from an ancient Greek word composed of two elements, apo, which means away from, plus stella, which means to send out on a journey.
Yes.
In turn, the name means messenger, to send away, dispatch on some mission or service. The commissioning of the 12 apostles during the ministry of Jesus and is in the Gospels, and during his resurrection, Jesus sent 11 of them, minus Judas,
11.
to spread his teachings to all nations.
Yes.
That told us.
She read that to me. She said when she received that message, she said she literally was in tears. As she just said, talking about being guided and listening to the messages. And that was about a year ago that she received that in meditation. So we're like, oh my goodness, as we say, we're all being guided. And we just have to listen to those beautiful versus why did a friend that I haven't talked to in 40 years pop into my head? Or why am I seeing an image? Or why is this, again, listen versus dismiss. And when we can listen to those beautiful messages that come in, meaning slow down the monkey brain, the monkey mind, and listen to what's being given to us. Or as we say, if we can just get out of our own way, watch the miracles unfold. And by the way, also Wayne, which we know is not a jewelry person, has also been wearing the intention stick in a part of your life and journey, because that was something Marla and I wanted to gift Wayne because of the kindness and what you did for Deb and just being a part of our lives and all of the other souls you have brought into our lives on this journey. And that's, as Marla said, it is about us collectively. We're here to help one another. We're here to serve and reach everyone in this world. And we are, and it is, as you now know, about the children, the grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren growing up, living a life of intention to eradicate all the negativity and hatred in this world. And that this tree of life is that unifying symbol to finally have the world come together versus all the divisiveness, right? How do you share that for thousands of years, everyone has worked on peace and coming together?
Yes.
Well, what Scott's explaining is that we receive messages on a daily basis. Now, people wearing their intention sticks and bumping into one another across the world, wearing their intention sticks. And so when we think we're separate from one another, we're not.
Yeah.
And the minute someone sees an intention stick on someone else, it all dissolves.
Yes.
Moves away. And there's that instant connection. And that's the peace that we're seeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Right,
and
because we all know there's no black, white, pink, yellow. There's no Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim. We are all the same. Our souls are the same, but this world forgot because we have, as you both know, have been programmed for generations and generations to think I'm better, I have more religion, I have more money, I have more politics. No, as we see this gift, the COVID, whatever that new something that comes into the world's life is a gift to wake up this world and see that it affected everyone and every level or any status or religion or color or race. And that's the message, that we are one. And what affects you affects us. And what affects Marla affects someone else. So again, this is why we're finally coming back together in a time that's so needed. Again, why this gift was received for us to share the world and let them know that we are all brought here to love one another, going back to pure unconditional love, right? And you guys are the essence of that. And wow, I am so grateful and so blessed to be sharing your story, which again was the very first story. And how would you say, especially I'm asking Wayne this question, to someone that may be the biggest skeptic in the world, that scientific, that mathematical, logic-driven minded person, not saying that's a negative, it's a positive, but coming from your background, how would you say or explain what this is to someone that may be in that mindset?
Well, I have a story too.
Oh, I love it.
We left touch with each other, me trying to get some money from somebody you know on this 3-dam project. And since then, we've had a series of breakthroughs in understanding what's going on and what this means.
Wow.
And what this funding's about and what does that mean more globally, but I'll go into that more later. But let's just look at the list. You gifted me with a intention stick, and I was totally baffled when you did that. I don't know if you know that. I put it on and I started thinking about what the hell are you doing here? You know, what are you supposed to be doing here and what are you doing? And trying to make the two match in some sense. When I got that, we had this low melting point material. Maybe we could do gold, maybe we could do aluminum, maybe we'd do a few things. And if with a lot of work, we could make parts out of it. So after that, we started thinking, well, if we make a part, we need to heat it and make it more annealed so that we can make different states of metal out of the same part. How are you going to do that? Boom. We came up with this whole concept of this multi-point heating, where we take a array of lasers and just do this so none of them can heat each other where each other is, and heat and individually, layer by layer, so we can build bulk materials out of these new materials we can barely make as a microscope slide scum today. And it all fit beautifully, went through the modeling, went through all that stuff, bang, 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 bang. It's the patent form, ready to go. What happens? Reformed a relationship with this guy, Mark Baker, who's a PhD guy out of UTEP. And together we came up with new physics to describe how when you form a droplet of material in a high electric field, you change the surface tension of the material. So this enables us to pull a drop off a surface where classic physics says you can't do it. And so that means we can make a droplet out of any material in the world that we can heat and melt.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Now, in the spring, we came up with a method to fuse and regrow sapphire, because you can actually grow parts of sapphire together in a very hot furnace.
Wow.
So you can grow these things together and refuse it so it's as strong as though you made it out of one part when you're done. It's miraculous material. That enables us to go up to 1500 degrees centigrade with materials, which allows us not to get to titanium, because titanium eats aluminum, which is sapphire. But it allows us to get to most of the metals, including steel, including iron boron silicon, which makes little flat discs that have notches in them to make motors out of. And we can make them amorphous, and we can save, with that project alone, we can save 4% of 70% of the world's power. So,
wow.
okay. So in this time, we generate relationships with the Koch brothers, Chick-fil-A, Lowe's, Mercedes-Benz F1, Tesla, Haas F1, Stratasys, and a bunch of others that don't bear naming. So we're working on this concept of trying to get all this stuff together.
Oh my God.
The entry market for the laminations is to stack them up and build motors for drones. There's a big push to make industrial drones that do surveying, do crops and all that stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. It's $2.5 billion market. We think we can improve the flight time on a drone by 50%. Non-trivial. Because the motors get smaller, and since they're lighter, so I can make a bigger battery. And by the time I do all that, I get 4% on top of that. So we ran across this really good design engineer for motors down in Fort Huachuca. Lives out there in the middle of the friggin' desert. It's just an amazing place. And together he took us down to the border. There's a motor company that's actually in Douglas, on the Mexican side of Douglas. You think, oh my God, what kind of a motor place is this? It is the most pristine place, the happiest workers in there. They work motors that are this big to motors that are this big. And it's just the cleanest, best run motor place I have seen in my life. And they loved us. They were ready to work. It was just instant. We know you were ready to go. You could really do that, Yes. Parallel, I ran into a guy by the name of Quentin Smith. I'd known him sometime earlier. Quentin's daddy was one of the Tuskegee Airmen. I met his dad at a fly-in at Oshkosh one year. Just a real character. He was the one he was the guy who's big enough to take on the white guys that wouldn't give him a straight cut at flying. And his daddy was a tough guy. Quentin is chairman of the board, was chairman of the board of Banner Health. And he knows everybody in town. So we were working that up until January. We were going to go in there and start talking to the orthopedics guys, because what we were going to pose to them was to have a shop next door. We can make the parts like we can make your jewelry next door, and you can put them on that person and have this quick turnaround thing. In January, they lost their funding. All the money that they had something. Last quarter, they made $500 million in money off their investments. First quarter is not going to look so good. With the slot, we developed a team then to go after SBIRs. I've got a great guy in California, another guy in Texas. They're helping us get SBIRs stuck together, and we'll have one stuck in probably the fourth to see if we can get that going. In between time, we came up with an automated system to make flexible designs for buildings. It comes from the notion of I can take a robot and hold two sticks of steel together and make them accurate within 17,000th of an inch. Which means I can sit here with a robot and do this and build a house out of steel and weld it together. And do the rest of it fully automated. I can turn out 8 million square feet in a line that costs $60 million. And the cost per square foot, finished parts, everything in it, turn the key, walk in, $35 a square foot. That's our cost.
Wow.
Okay, that's a big deal.
Holy
We can do a similar thing for commercial buildings. They're long monolithic slabs, 8 feet wide, 40 feet long, stick them together. They've got the fixtures on the inside, fixtures on the outside, everything's done, stick them together, wire them together in between, put them on the floor. 7 days after you have the slab put together and all the stub outs in it, you roll the slot parts in the bottom, slap this thing up, you can have a Chick-fil-A delivering chicken. Boom.
Oh my God.
We came up with farmer in a box. Farmer is a box in the backyard, 8 by 10 feet. We can grow all the green vegetables, all the vegetables that you buy at the vegetable store in your backyard in an 8 by 10 foot room.
Oh my God.
It's all this vertical farming concept. Just do it. It goes on.
Oh my.
We finished the patent on the pharmaceutical grade algae and with a host of that allows us to be a host for complex recombinant proteins. Some of the things that she takes every day, and other people that have these $8,000 bills for pharmaceuticals. And it has reformed our relationship with a guy in Canada. He has a purification technique where he can grow that protein with an oil and then separate the oil off, and then he separated away all that other junk and then purifies from there, saves 90% of the cost. Plus, we're using algae, which is a smart thing. And so we can do that. We're going to second run an SBIR on that project and get one of those things built. I had a wake-up call on health in December with back problems, heart, foot, stomachs, and all exposed within 2 weeks. Since then, I've lost 30 pounds. I've gotten stronger, and I've improved my CV. I'm walking about 4 miles a day and running about 20 minutes on the bike every other day and exercising the rest of the day. So we're coming back. This year we designed a ventilator using some technology, didn't get it going, but a friend of mine came up with a ventilator using a woofer speaker for the device to run, which sounds like crazy. And we got to thinking, and he's just about to prove that if we put a higher frequency on it as you push, we can put a pulse of high frequency, and we can open up sacs in the lung and open up sacs that they can't get to now. My brother was the youngest inhalation therapist in the United States when he first started. So he's helping with that. We're trying to see if we can do that. This has all happened. This has all happened with this intention stick. With it, I'm bulletproof. I have mindful reasoning. I focus on the present. I spin on my heels when something's a problem. I'm strictly open and trust personal relationships. And I've grown an incredible volume of work with people. It's not just me, it's other people. We're posed to try to come up with some funds that do real things called hard tech. Hard tech is something that takes you 10, 20, $30 million in order to prove feasibility and just see if it's going to work. Those are the kind of projects we need to improve water, food, energy, transportation. And Phoenix is situated, can be the middle of the universe for hard tech development if we can get the right people together to make it happen. These have been the most productive years of my life. Still need funding, but I'm trying like hell. We got a lot more to fund now.
Wow.
It's been a few years.
Wow. I am in just awe, and I couldn't be more happy for what you, I mean, miraculous, again, miraculous.
That was the word.
What you just shared
there, miraculous.
And I know, again, talk about why we're having this conversation today, that the world gets to witness from both of you, your stories, your journey to help do what we were brought here to do, to help the world. It's not about us. Again, no. It goes back to, this is about us collectively, and the guidance, the messages, your genius to help this world, to help others, how this has helped you and Deb and the people in your lives. But again, it's the ripple effect. It's that, again, going back to Marla's vision, that this will sweep the world like a beautiful tsunami, that everyone in the world would have one, and everyone would eventually, in every language and in Braille, put in the word oneness to understand we are one. And yes, we're all brought here to help one another. And this is why you've been given your gifts, not just Deb with her health and her journey, but you with your health and your father's health, thankfully. And the messages you continue to receive to help this beautiful world and help others and save others and be in this new norm for the journey ahead. And again, miraculous. And what you said, Wayne, which is what Marla and I keep in our intention 6 permanently, is the word trust, right? If we don't trust the journey, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
We are being guided, and we are doing what we should be doing in this lifetime. Yes, for now, but more importantly, what you're doing is for generation and generation and generations to come. And
well, it goes with everything. All these people have that ability. All you got to do is light the fuse, and get the hell out of the way.
Yes.
Here's your quote.
Which
The
one?
ancient Greek quote.
Oh, yes. So, Wayne, so there's been, but as I will say, holy shift, right? What you just shared, holy shift,
Holy shit.
is that we have on our website, when you go onto the home page, which I may have shared with you in Deb, but if not, I'm re-saying it. It's an ancient Greek proverb that says a society grows great when old men plant trees in which they know the shade they will never sit in.
Okay.
This isn't about us. This is, like I said, about the children, the grandchildren, the great, it's our future generations. We're doing the work. We collectively are the seeds for this beautiful world and universe, and we're doing it. So whomever is listening, is, as we say, chime in, help, whatever you can do to do what we're all doing collectively for the future generations. This is, wow. I don't even know where my mind from your stories is ready to explode. I think some just leaked out on my shoulder, but
it's all right. We know somebody can put it back.
but wow, it just, the love in our hearts for both of you it's just overflowing, and to see and hear how blessed you both are and what this has done in your lives, and for what other lives this is going to touch, not just with the intention stick, but with both of your genius minds for what this is going to do for the world and for future. Thank you for being in our lives. We're honored to call you family. We're honored to call you our brother and our sister, and we love you so much.
Likewise, we
Yes.
love you too very, very
Miss you
much,
guys.
and we miss you guys.
Miss you.
We miss you already know you're with us every day, even, and this is the beauty of soul to soul and family connection, is even if we don't speak every day or every month or even 6 months or a year, it's like we spoke yesterday. And
Yes.
that's what we share with everyone about a soul to soul connection. It's there, and going back to, it's brushing off all the things we've been programmed to feel and think. And as you said, that fuse is there for everyone. Let it explode, let it come through, let it shine. And again, listen to the messages like you both have. And oh,
You're the Fusilier.
No, that is, we just listened. We just
gotta light it. You got it. Somebody's got to take the act to light that fuse.
Thank you.
And then start those dominoes. That's what happens. And then when you see what's going on, get in front of the parade and be a leader.
That's so kind. Thank you, Wayne. And
that has to happen. Somebody has to be a fuse lighter.
Thank you.
We nominated you.
Oh my goodness. That's gratitude. That's just great. And yes, we can't wait to see you so we can give you physical hugs. And I know that's
I know. I'm giving you a hug too.
That is soon. And we never say goodbye. We say abiento. And as our beautiful sign off to you is, as Marla and I say, sending you and your beautiful family blessings and intentions of gratitude, light, and love. And we love you. We love you. We love you both so very much.
Thank you.
We love you too.
And I can't wait for the journey. The journey is just beginning, right? And it is miraculous. It's not going to be. It is miraculous.
Yes.
Have such a blessed day. We'll see you guys. Mwah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Abiento.
Abiento.